ballroom fell silent. Cameras flashed. A young staff member extended his hand politely toward the billionaire, one of the most powerful men in the country. But instead of shaking it, the billionaire leaned back with a smirk and said into the microphone for everyone to hear, "I don't shake hands with staff." Laughter from a few of his wealthy friends echoed, but the rest of the room froze in disgust. He thought he had made a joke, until 5 minutes later, when his empire crumbled before his eyes, and he realized he had just cost himself $5 billion. Charles Montrose was the kind of billionaire people either envied or feared. Founder of a global investment empire, he was a man of power, money, and ruthless decisions. His company employed over 60,000 people worldwide, yet he rarely acknowledged those he saw as beneath him. That evening, he was the keynote speaker at an elite charity gala. Politicians, CEOs, and celebrities filled the room. The press lined the walls, eager for headlines. Before his speech, one of the young hotel staff members, a recent immigrant working 2 jobs to support his family, opened the door for Charles and respectfully extended his hand. The cameras zoomed in, ready to capture the billionaire's grace. Instead, Charles sneered and pulled away. "I don't shake hands with staff." His words cut like glass, dripping arrogance into the air. Gasps spread through the audience. But Charles didn't notice. He was too busy walking toward the stage, smiling proudly, thinking he had asserted his dominance. He didn't realize he had just signed the death warrant of his own reputation. As Charles took the podium, murmurs ran through the crowd. Social media lit up in real time. Dozens of phones had captured the insult, and within seconds, the clip went viral. Hashtags like "no handshake," "no respect," and "billionaire arrogance" exploded across platforms. By the time Charles reached the second paragraph of his speech, millions of people online were already condemning him. Even worse, several of his biggest investors were in the room that night, people who had built their reputations on social responsibility and inclusion. Their expressions hardened as they whispered to each other, exchanging knowing looks. "Did you hear what he just said?" one muttered. "Yes, that's going to cost him more than he thinks." Meanwhile, the young staff member who had been humiliated quietly left the hall, holding back tears. He hadn't expected kindness, but he hadn't expected to be degraded. In front of the world, iftikhar, and as Charles arrogantly closed his speech with self-praise about vision and leadership, the irony was already playing out. His vision had been clouded, and his leadership destroyed, all in less than 5 minutes. When Charles stepped off the stage, his phone buzzed non-stop. At first he smiled, assuming it was praise. Then he read the headlines. "Billionaire refuses to shake worker's hand. World outraged. Arrogance caught on camera. Montrose humiliates staff. Investors pull out after gala disaster." One by one, notifications from his board members and investors filled the screen. "We're done. This ends today." In less than 5 minutes, $5 billion in support evaporated. Partnerships dissolved. Stock prices tumbled. The very people he thought admired him were turning their backs, disgusted by his arrogance. Charles sat frozen, his glass of champagne trembling in his hand. His smirk was gone. For the first time in years, he looked like a man who had lost everything. The following morning, Charles woke to headlines calling him the billionaire too proud to shake a hand. His empire had become a cautionary tale overnight. The staff member he humiliated? His story spread too. How he worked hard to support his family and how that simple handshake could have meant the world to him. Thousands of strangers online raised donations for the young man, praising his dignity in the face of arrogance. Charles, on the other hand, faced resignations from his board, shareholder lawsuits, and an irreversible stain on his legacy. And all because of 7 words. I don't shake hands with staff. It was a brutal lesson. Money can build an empire, but humility sustains it. Respect costs nothing, and arrogance can cost everything.